KLTV sound check, KLTV sound check.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday meeting, public meeting of the BOCC. We have we have Chaplain Russ with us today that'll lead us in invocation. Sir.
Hey, Father God, who gets over our just on this election, Lord, may you have your Holy Spirit work across this country and make the elections in your favor. Lord, we don't want elections going to our homes. Just pray the Holy Spirit goes work right now. Makes a big difference for American people. And Lord, I just ask you, please bless all the people that are here today, Lord. We all have challenges we have to deal with, Lord. And a lot of them are very trying and they're tormenting, Lord. And I just pray a blessing on all these people to anoint them and just take the pressures of their lives today, Lord, and bring them more joy, Lord. I ask this. And Father, above all, and most important in our hearts, Lord, is in Mark chapter 12, verses 30 and 31, Lord, where you say, your greatest commandment is to love you, Lord, and your second greatest commandment is to love your neighbor like yourself, Lord. And I just pray that you just open up our hearts, Lord, and let love flow out of our hearts to everyone we meet, because that's what you command us to do, is to love your brother like yourself, Lord. And we just pray this in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, sir. You want to join me for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. God bless y'all.
Okay, a little bit going on today. We have our meeting. We have some public hearings at 10 o'clock. We annually give out awards to our people in the county. It's a process we go through, and they're nominated by others, and we work through it. And so we're going to recognize some of our employees at 10 o'clock today. So we'll move along. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of October 27th to 29th.
So moved.
Okay, a motion to approve. Any questions, comments? Seeing any? Okay, we'll call for vote. Those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Let me run down consent agenda. Call for public hearing. We have our call for a public hearing of proposed 6-year transportation improvement program. We do this every year for the years 26 to 31. It's scheduled for December 2nd, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. in the morning. We have a call for bids. Request for proposals for as-needed supply and delivery of fuel and diesel scheduled for December 2nd, 2025 at 4 p.m. This is fuel and diesel to our shops. Agreements, contracts, bid award, personal service agreement with Community Mediation Center for assisting Cowlitz County residents in resolving disputes through mediation. This is a renewal of a existing 2-year contract. This will run through December 31st of 2027. It's an amount of $81,000. It's a little bit, I understand it's a little bit higher than the last one because there was some insurance requirement increases. We've seen plenty of those. Amendment number 6 to the professional service agreement with RH2 Engineering for the 2 water system improvement projects. The amendment was result in an increase of $33,200, bringing the total contract amount not to exceed $540,489. This was some changes that we requested. It wasn't anything on their part. It was something we requested. Sorry. Amendment number 3, the personal service agreement with Windsor Engineers for the Camelot Large On-Site Septic System Project to extend the termination date to December 31st, 2025. So we're extending the date on that one. Professional service agreement with Facet Inc. to produce an update to the Cowlitz County critical areas as required by state law. Total amount of $75,000. This is part of our comp plan that we're in the process of updating for. We applied for some grant funds to pay for this company to help us do this part of the plan. And we received those grant funds, so we're contracting with them to help us with that. Contract completion letter to All Stripes LLC for the 2025 countywide striping project. That's been completed, so the completion letter. 8, 9, and 10 are all memorandums of understanding, one with Local 1262, one with Local 334, and one with the Sheriff's Specialist Guild to change the health insurance contributions. We're moving to tiered rates. It's going to be a benefit to many of the employees. So this is a good move to move to those. Amendment number 1, professional service agreement with government portfolio advisors for investment portfolio services. This is a 2-year extension on a contract we started in, I don't remember when we started. I think when I first came on, we brought these people on. They've done a super job in helping us. Of course, our treasurer runs all this, but they've done a super job working with her and giving us some really good feedback, and our returns have been really, really good working with them. So we're renewing that contract. We're putting a 2-year extension. It's an amount of $112,500 per year. Amendment number 1, professional service agreement with Mark Greenow and Foster Garvey for bond counsel, extending until December 31st, 2028. It's a 3-year extension. It's an as-needed basis. Anytime the county would go out and seek a bond or put out a bond proposal, we use these people to make sure everything's done as it's supposed to be. They specialize in that. So it's really as an as-needed thing. Board correspondence, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, notice dated 10/27/25 regarding the 13th part periodic inspection of SWIFT number 1. There's always something going up at the dams. Vouchers in the amount of $1,379,270.92. That's consent agenda. Any questions, comments, clarifications? Okay, seeing none, I'd ask for a motion.
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion to approve consent agenda. One more time. Okay, we'll call for a vote. Those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Couple motion items. Public Works.
Good morning, Susan Eugenius, County Engineer. The first motion item we have in front of you is a supplemental agreement number 4 to the local agency standard consultant agreement with WSP USA. This is our as-needed general engineering services contract. The increase is for $500,000. This contract was established in 2022. And we are adding this extension to complete existing projects that this consultant is already working on. This increase will help cover the remaining tasks on this item, the biggest being the Tower Road Rock Creek culvert project, replacement project. For those of you who don't remember, that is the culvert that's on Tower Road that was blown out in the winter. We've done a temporary project with a temporary bridge in there, and we are finalizing the final bridge, and we'll be constructing that in 2026.
Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
I move approval of item 14, the supplemental agreement number 4 to the local agency standard consultant agreement.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the supplemental agreement. Last chance. See nothing online, see nothing. Call for a vote. Those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 15 is a supplemental agreement number 3 with OTAC Incorporated. This contract is specifically for the Allender Road Stillwater Creek Fish Passage Project. This is the second of 2 bridges we're replacing out on Allender Road. This supplement is for $207,834.60. This will get us through final design and construction services support and final permitting. This project is being funded by the Bryan Abbott Fish Barrier Removal Board at an 85% payment. We're matching with 15% local road fund dollars. This culvert is an old box culvert that restricts fish passage and is also a heavily load-rated part of our bridge system. So this takes care of 2 issues out there.
Allender Road for everybody is out by Riderwood. It's in that area. Any questions, comments on this? We got this culvert and we also got a bridge. We got 2 things out there we're doing. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Seeing none, I entertain a motion.
Move approval of item 15, supplemental agreement number 3.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 15, the supplemental agreement number 3 on the Allender Road. Last chance for questions, comments. Okay, seeing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. Y'all have a good
Mhm.
day.
HHS, Gina.
Hey, good morning. Gina James, Health and Human Services. We have one item on the agenda today. This is a contract amendment to our contract with Washington State Department of Health. It's our consolidated contract where we often see amendments throughout the year, adding different items. This particular amendment is adding 2 things. The first is perinatal Hep B, an addition of $750 to support our work around that. It's case-based, so when there's an uptick in a couple cases, we see some additional funding for that. The second item is public health infrastructure funding. This is a new one. It's for specific uses, but we'll have to work with the state on what we would do with it. What they're adding is an up to $200,000 reimbursement for public health infrastructure project. What we've started some conversations about is looking at our food database system that we're currently using. It's kind of on the verge of breaking and not very effective for our staff. So we're looking at that option. As I mentioned, it would be something we'd have to get some quotes and some whatnot and get approved by the state to do that project. And then we could get reimbursed up to the $200,000 for that. So those are the 2 items in this amendment.
Yeah. The one note I had from yesterday is it, I thought it moved from 750 to 1,000.
Yes, they're adding 750. We had
Well, they're
200.
adding 750
Yeah, we already had 250, and so a total of 1,000.
for the Hep B.
Yes.
So does that mean that the cases are on the rise in our area since we got that big of an increase?
We have had a couple more cases, yeah. It's still not many, so we currently have 3 cases, but when we don't usually see cases, and so we've had a few.
And for the infrastructure, it's not limited to the food program we're using it. That's just what you're planning on using it for, right? We can use it for other projects.
We could look at other projects, yeah. That's just what is kind of a need for us right now. Mhm.
Okay. Any questions, comments on this, Ron?
Good morning, Commissioners and Gina. Please give me a perspective. Is that we're looking at extremely tight budgets. Our state Congress wants to tax us more money this year, projecting ahead. And then I see these grants. Are these grants that we've applied for a need, or is this money just being thrown at us?
Yeah, so both of these funding streams are federal funds. So there's federal funding that's coming
Federal
to the
funds.
state and getting passed down to local health jurisdictions for specific work.
Okay, so it's a pass through from the feds through the state to us.
Yes.
Okay, with all of the hands in the pot along the way, but at least we're getting it from the feds.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, good morning. I was just curious about the Hep B. What does that entail? Is that for testing or vaccination or education? What does that entail?
Yeah, so when this is specific to perinatal Hep B, so when babies, hepatitis B can be passed from the mother to the baby, and it can cause some pretty severe medical conditions if the baby contracts hepatitis B. So there's some pretty effective treatment and vaccination that can take place early on and to prevent the baby from contracting it or having those medical conditions. And so our role is those cases get reported to us as a notifiable condition, and we will reach out to the family or work with the doctor's office just to help provide some support in moving through that process.
So it's more educational based, would you say?
Yes,
Like-
we don't
Okay.
administer the vaccine or anything
Okay, I
like
wasn't
that.
sure what piece
It's-
that you,
More educational, again, some support for the family if there's
Got it.
challenges with getting to the next doctor's appointment or helping to stay on top of the dates because they have kind of certain time
Yes, yeah, I'm
windows
familiar
and
with
things
that, yeah.
like that.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And
I was
it's
just curious what that meant.
fairly lengthy. I think it's, I want to say 9 months, maybe longer, that to follow after birth. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, I was just curious what that entailed.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, entertain a motion.
I move approval of item 16, the contract amendment 25002 with Washington State Department of Health.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 16, the contract amendment with Washington State Department of Health. Chance. Okay, see nobody coming up. We'll call for a vote. Those in favor? Aye. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
Okay, a couple things today at 9:30. We have a public hearing with building and planning. This one is a closed record hearing. That will happen at 9:30, which means if you didn't speak at the planning commission meeting, you're not allowed to speak here. It's a closed public hearing. Immediately following that, HHS will come back and they'll do a public hearing in our community development block grant closeout for the past year for 24-25. And then right after that, block grant applications for 25-26. So we'll have those coming up. I have there was a couple things brought up last week. I think I have some couple answers on things. We had ecology in. We had talked about Forest Practices Board, and there was questions on how they felt ecology was going to vote. Well, I think Susan sent this to us. This was ecology, Department of Ecology sent this out. And they're talking about the proposed rule through the Forest Practices Board, which increases the buffer varying from 50 to 75 feet from creeks. And what is their analysis? Our analysis found that Forest Practices Board proposed rule would substantially improve water quality for non-fish bearing perennial streams in Western Washington. The proposed buffer options should, they start saying substantially and then they say it should, so they don't really know, should result in minimal stream warming, and any warming that may occur is likely to be shorter than what happens under current rules. We've determined it is necessary and in the overriding public interest to allow the rule to be adopted should the board decide to do so. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand Department of Ecology is going to vote for this rule. I want to point one thing out, and I'm not picking on, we always enjoy ecology coming in and them giving us, but there's a statement made last time, and I say this quite often. You've heard me say it here when somebody's asked, I said, be careful what you ask your government to do because they'll never stop. When this proposal first started, I'm sure it had to do with salmon streams and trying to protect some of that. And if you listened when they were here last week, they're moving this on to non-salmon bearing streams because they feel that temperature of that water may come down and cool streams that actually have salmon in it. You can correct me if I'm misinterpreting this, but I think that's pretty what it said. They don't know that's going to happen, but they feel that it's going to happen. So you got to be very careful when you give authority to government agencies to do things because they never stop. It just keeps morphing into more and more and more. So, and to this date, this vote comes up the 12th of this month. The Association of Counties has had 3 people in waiting for the governor to pick one to be a representative on this board since first of the year. They still has not have a person representing the counties appointed to that board. So this vote's going to happen and the county's not going to have a say. It's pretty predictable how it's going to go. So anyway, that's just a little update on that.
You know, the interesting thing about that too, Mr. Chairman, is when you look at the non-riparian streams that they're going after, if you just look at the Northwest and you look at some of the really, really good fishing rivers that are notably recognized, just take the Deschutes for example, you might be able to find 10 trees on that river, period, the whole thing, right? And that river isn't one that they're looking at that doesn't heat the water temperature. It's a giant river pouring into the Columbia. When you look at what they're proposing logically, there's no logic to it. It doesn't make sense. It's definitely a land grab.
So we have a couple minutes till 9:30. If anybody has anything, I see Mr. Kaiser coming up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I have 2 things to comment on. One,
Yeah.
I'll go back to your comments on the ecology thing. Their research, what they've done, the water they're trying to keep cool is not over the lid on the temperature yet. But this cooler water they're proposing might come down from a non-perennial stream, if you can figure out what that is, might help it stay down below the lid. These waters are wanting to cool have not gone over the top threshold. So yeah, it's not a land grab, it's social engineering is what it is, but we'll leave it at that. Second one is today's Daily News. Talks about Hope Village. There's been a lot of talk before the 2 Steves were here about this Hope Village stuff went on in this room and how this room decided not to participate with the city of Longview, and that's all history, and that was years in the making. Now someone is suing the city and the Salvation Army because they shut it down. And it says, as I read the article, which I hadn't when I walked in and talked to some people and Mr. Chairman prior to the meeting starting, That person is doing this lawsuit, has been there since early 23, off and on, but pretty much regularly since June through September of this year, according to the article, which could be all wrong because we all know the Daily News always gets it wrong. I just can't even believe someone had a roof over their head for the best part of 3 years and wants to sue the hand that fed them at the end of the day instead of trying to work with whatever. Yeah, if I lived there, I know it'd be a great inconvenience to be kicked out, but it's going to sort itself out one way or another sooner or later. But my God, this is why I'm very glad the county chose not to get involved there. Otherwise, you could be on the front page of the day's Longview Daily News. And one more thing, going back to ecology, in last week's Capital Press, which is a weekly out of Salem and Ag Weekly, Don Jenkins, formerly of the Daily News and formerly of Cowlitz County, and I understand he's back in Cowlitz County now, wrote this article, and it's plain as day. Ecology wants this. Ecology brought it up, and they lay out the points where I mentioned previously about the water they're trying to cool is not at the top threshold, but this might be better, whatever better means. And yeah, I believe it's the numbers game, and I believe they've got the numbers lined up to make this thing pass. Thank you very much for your time.
Continuing on the Forest Practices Act as a land grab, absolutely. If the board was clearly interested in the science and in the impact, you would recognize that the sun shines in a certain direction, and it is not all the trees on all the sides of the river for the full length of the river. It would give, since we the public and have to apply for permits for everything that we do, it would have given the designer or the permit process to say, hey, this river or this portion of it runs in this direction, sun has no impact on it, and would give some exclusion opportunities for science and for study. But no, it's a land grab of the full space, clearly a land grab. Secondly, on the suit just mentioned by a previous tenant that was removed from Camp Hope, prudent people like us, you go ahead and you give notices on a regular basis to anybody that's temporary on your property so that they cannot claim squatters' rights. That is clearly understood. There is a hole in this whole process right now that was not recognized, that we, the citizens, were providing temporary housing for a process. So will be very interesting how this court case turns out.
Yeah. Mike, you got a couple minutes, so take up the time.
Give an English lesson here.
Okay.
Since you just mentioned temporary, and it mentioned a couple things in here, temporary, transitional, and emergency. Why we have to be splitting hairs and dealing with semantics goes to show you what's wrong with society. Transitional, temporary, come on, guys. But yet that's what they're basing this suit on, is transitional versus temporary. I mean, yeah, talk about splitting hairs. And I didn't get A's in English. I can figure this out right there.
Yeah.
Nor am I a lawyer.
I gotta see something.
Ooh, candy again. I always have to have something. How much power do you three have over the Department of Ecology? Can you say, I'm sorry that I can't do any, you guys, I mean, you're overridden by whatever the decision that they make in our county? You are. I mean, you have no say. I mean, no.
What do you want us to, what are you asking us to
Well,
do?
if they do say that, okay, we're gonna go with this new width on our, you just stand up, the three of you, and go, not in this county. How much weight do you guys have?
Well, we can always say it,
Yeah, we can do that. I don't know what the
but
ramifications.
Is this
it
federal or-
couldn't stop ecology from suing a landowner that says, okay, the county says I can do this, so I'm going to do it. Is it going to stop them? No.
Why couldn't it? if you have that much power. I mean, this is what is bothering me, is that the state is taking our self-governing away from our counties, just like the schools. I talk to you guys about that all the time.
Yeah.
The state, that you guys don't have the teeth. I mean, really, I mean.
Because the state doesn't see us as separate governing bodies. They see us as an extension of them. And we're supposed to do their business according to what they lay out.
Oh.
That's how they look at us.
I just don't like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You guys should have more authority over the people because you live here, you know the issues we have here. And you should have more control of what we have to put up with from the state and from what our environment gives to us, so that,
Yeah.
you know.
I would guarantee you, Flo, if we could say no and it would, they'd have to abide by it, we'd be saying no.
Okay, well, I had to ask.
Okay, we're 9:30. So let's bring up first, public hearing, building and planning.
Good morning, Adam Trimble, Planning Manager with Building and Planning, and with me is,
Sahara Cooey, Senior Planner, Building and Planning.
and so what we have on your agenda is, as you mentioned, the closed record public hearing, with a public hearing having been held by the Planning Commission, where public comments were invited, a public participation was offered, and you do have a recommendation for approval from the Planning Commission. So we are here to present that recommendation to you and have the board conduct their discussions, deliberations, and then make a decision on the application, which Sahara can tell us a little bit more about.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. As Adam stated, we have a closed record public hearing to consider the KT West rural subdivision. It's a proposal for a 5-lot rural subdivision. It's located off Payne Road in Castle Rock. The property was previously part of a 4-lot administrative short subdivision that was recorded June of 2025. The applicant is proposing the creation of a 5th lot, thus triggering the review under the Cowlitz County Rural Subdivision Standards. Current and proposed lots will be served by on-site septic systems and an existing Group B water system, and access is proposed from individual and shared driveways from Payne Road. At the October 15th regular meeting, the Planning Commission held a public hearing to consider the proposal. The Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend that the Board of County Commissioners approve the preliminary plat subject to the conditions of approval outlined in the staff report. Staff concurs with the Planning Commission's recommendation and requests that the board approve the preliminary plat for the KT West rural subdivision, subject to those conditions.
Did the Planning Commission have any comments from anybody? No.
Just
Okay.
general.
So there'd be
yeah.
nobody here to comment
No.
today. Any questions from us? It seems like pretty straightforward. It was before, and he's just asking to add one more.
Yes.
Okay. Nothing from us. I will open public comment, or there's no one here that can comment. So we'll open and we'll close it. I don't necessarily agree with that rule, but it's the rule they ask us to live by, so. See nothing else, I'd ask for a motion on that.
So moved.
Okay, we have motion to approve this subdivision plan approval. We can go straight to the vote since we've had public comment. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Yeah. Gina?
Hey, good morning. This is our first public hearing this morning, which is to close out our previous year's CDBG, which is Community Development Block Grant. It's called the Public Services Grant. It was utilized last year towards the Meals on Wheels program with Lower Columbia CAP. I have a representative here with me today if we have some specific questions. So this piece is to just close out, submit our closeout report. It asks for Chairman Dahl's signature on that, just closing out the grant for the previous fiscal year.
Any questions on it? This is a public hearing, so if you have questions on the closing of the previous grant, we will open for public comment. Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment. Entertain a motion to close out the 24-25 public grant.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion to close out the 24-25 Community Development Block Grant. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving to the next one. It's good to see you again this year. Thanks for coming by.
We have to wait till 9:45 or do we?
It is it is at 9:45,
Okay.
so we do have to wait. Sorry about that. Public comment, we can take public comment till 9:45.
Okay, I don't know much about this grant, and so we have one that takes place now. I mean, again, after this one's closed, then we have one that replaces it. We
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Oh, okay, and did we use all the money that was given to us?
We used almost all of it. It's kind of confusing. We had some funding that we had to use up in the county. First, that came back to us through other projects. And so we had to use some of that towards that work. So we didn't utilize the entire grant for that reason. But we typically do the grant in this new funding year. It's $70,000. So it's towards the Meals on Wheels program.
Okay, with the Meals on the Wheels, I know we're going to have a winter that's going to be devastating for a lot of people that don't have homes. I mean, they're going to be temporary sheltered someplace. Will the Meals on Wheels go in that direction if needed, the new grant?
Go in what type of direction?
Well,
I'm not sure I understand.
If to have a Meals on Wheels, as far as I know, you have to have a home because it's delivered, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can answer that question. Yes, we do serve some people in the homeless population. If they are living in their car and we can locate them on a specific corner or general area, then we will deliver to them. And we do meet the needs of some people that are in transitional housing and other things. If they meet our criteria and do not have support systems available to them, most transitional housing has some sort of food provided, so they wouldn't meet our criteria, but we do serve some in the homeless population.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We keep boots in our car just in case to go to all the places. We do.
Hey, we're still open for public comment till 9:45. If anybody has anything. Why don't we take a quick recess till 9:45 and then we'll come back with the public hearing, okay?
So you need your stuff.
Let's not lose that carbon dioxide.
We gotta start the umbrella company first,
Yeah.
before we do that.
Get those Quonset hut covers and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. What a
Oh,
hell.
seriously, think about it. The Deschutes is in the sun.
Yep.
All day. and
It's going,
Wait.
okay. It's 9:45, maybe a minute after, so Gina, we'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you. So as I mentioned, this hearing is to consider an application for the new fiscal year funding for the CDBG grant. It's the Community Development Block Grant, Public Services. We have historically utilized this funding for the Meals on Wheels program. This funding it's come from the federal government to the state to counties. It's called an application, but this funding really is earmarked for counties across the state and for community action agencies. And so we are required to pass the funding down to community action agencies for different projects. We have looked at a couple different types of projects in the past. Meals on Wheels is what we have always have continued to do. They receive some other funding for the program as well, so it kind of helps to make it a nice holistic program for our community. I'm going to let Tammy talk a little bit, just to give her elevator speech about what the program looks like.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm Tammy Davies. I'm the program manager of senior nutrition at Lower Columbia CAP. So the senior nutrition program is more commonly called Meals on Wheels to the community, or at least all over the country. It's known as Meals on Wheels. We have two elements of the program. It's community lunch sites. So there's actual sites where seniors go to eat lunch together. Today we're meeting in Riderwood. And yesterday we were in Kalama. And so there's that piece, and we serve about 450 seniors under that program. And then we also have home delivered meals, which is the one that's better known. That's Meals on Wheels. And those are home delivered meals to homebound seniors who are assessed for our services. They have to complete assessments to determine eligibility. We don't just give it to anybody. We look at your support systems, your activities of daily living, your resources that are available to you. If you have family nearby that can do your grocery shopping for you, are you able to use a tablet and do online grocery shopping? Your physical health, are you able to stand and prepare meals for yourself? Do you have the knowledge and know how to prepare a meal for you when you've been diagnosed with diabetes or heart health issues that you have to change your diet some? So we look at all those factors to determine eligibility. And then if we put you on services, most people these days are electing to do frozen meals once a week. We have 11 frozen routes that go out Monday through Friday. So we deliver to all areas in Cowlitz County. Most of those deliveries are done by volunteers, which is very cool. We reimburse mileage, but their time is very valuable to us. We do have hot meals available within Longview Kelso for our most vulnerable. Most of those people are like bedbound. They're very, very homebound. And the extra support helps keep them stable where they're at, rather than in facility care that might cost taxpayers more dollars. So it's really about kind of meeting a need for the individual, stabilizing their situation around nutrition, and kind of keeping them out of the more expensive long-term care system if we can do it.
How many people are on that program?
133 today. That's Cowlitz and Wakaikam, by the way.
And you said frozen meals. Who prepares those and freezes them?
We prepare them and freeze them. They're prepared in our kitchen just down the street, South Pacific. Grounds for Opportunity Cafe down there. It's a commercial kitchen. We prepare over 1,000 meals every week. we have a 5-week rotating menu that we try to keep interesting, and a dietitian approves all of those meals and make sure they're meeting the needs correctly.
And for the one that you guys are having in Riderwood today, you guys prepare all of that food and take it with you there?
Yes. We have a meal site coordinator that comes to the kitchen. She picks up. We have it all packaged in Cambros that are insulated. The Department of Health monitors our abilities to keep things safe. We transport it up to Riderwood to the community center. We have some volunteers that are up there and join in, and we serve the lunch to maybe 25 people that come, and they're there at noon. They eat together and they clean up, and we bring it all back. Whatever's left usually goes out as leftovers to whoever's there. They bring back the empty things and we clean up and get ready for the next day.
What other sources of funding do you guys have?
Our main source of funding is Older Americans Act funding, so federal dollars that comes through our contractor, the Area Agency on Aging and Disabilities of Southwest Washington. They're about 65% of our funding. And then we rely heavily on this piece and client donations. We ask clients, we suggest $5 per meal as a suggested donation. We average about 41 cents per meal in donations. People just don't have those dollars to give. So we do fundraisers and write for grants wherever we can and kind of piece it all together.
So is it $5 a meal? Is that what it costs to make one?
No, it's more like $10.50 when you add all the case management and everything to it. I think it's a fair price for, I mean, you can't get a nutritionally balanced meal at, Wendy's anymore, or Wendy's and have it under $10, right? Any other questions?
Anything else from us? Okay, we'll open the public hearing part of it. If there's any questions from the audience or online, I'm not seeing anything. Okay, we'll close the public hearing part of it. How much is the grant for this year?
The grant for this year is $70,000. They allow a 3,500 admin for the county. And so the remainder would be passed down to Lower Columbia cap. So if
They'll get like 66 plus.
yeah, yep. So our next step would be to submit this application. There's a spot for Chairman Dahl's signature on the application, and then we would have the state contract scheduled for a Tuesday meeting.
Do we typically allocate all 100% of that grant to this program? Or do we have other programs that we use it for?
It 100% is historically gone to this program. Yeah, we have looked at other options and explored some other avenues, but because of the other funding that CAP gets, it helps to just make it a whole program. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the community development block grant applications for 25-26. I'd call for a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for coming by again. Appreciate it. Okay, at 10 o'clock, we have employees awards, but I do have, if there's any burning questions for 5 minutes, we can, we can answer them. Okay. Just take a short recess till 10. Get time. back from recess. Explain a little bit how this is gonna go. First off, this is, one of the funnest things we get to do. These are all people that are nominated by their peers and stuff, and I think that's just, an awesome recognition just to be nominated by a peer for the work you do here at the county. So how we're gonna proceed this today is I'm gonna ask my colleagues to join me down front here, and Kelly will read through everybody that's nominated, and everybody that's nominated gets a plaque, and we'd like the opportunity to congratulate you. And then at the end, we have three. You always have to make a decision on these things, and they're not always easy decisions, but we did make three decisions, and we'll hand those out at the end. So my colleagues want to join me down front?
Ready? All right, we'll start out with Andrea Yoho from Environmental Health. Andrea is not interested in continuing to do everything as it has always been done. With Andrea leading the change, we have cleaned up and improved several decades of old processes and permits. Next is Doug Lean from Public Works. Doug always goes the extra mile in repairing our equipment and is always meticulous in his repair and timeliness. Matthew Morrison from Office of Public Defense. Matt is always offering to cover cases for people when they are unexpectedly out. He is always offering to help with first appearances in court. He continuously goes above and beyond his own workload to help others with their work. Whenever help is needed, he is the first person to offer a helping hand. Chuck Johnson from the jail. Officer Johnson is a man of integrity with a high level of work standards. He sets the bar for the rest of the team to reach out for, but helps colleagues rest to it and do their best. He is always willing to help and as often gives tasks not suited for others. Mike Banford from Information Technology. Mike gives it his all every day to ensure that the IT department is running the best that it possibly can. He cares deeply about providing excellent customer service, improving processes, and being efficient and conscientious about spending taxpayer money wisely. Candace Chapin from the assessor. Candace consistently demonstrates a high level of initiative, follow-through, and attention to detail in all aspects of her work. Her dedication to improving internal systems and her ability to independently lead a major digital transition project exemplify her extraordinary service. She saw a need, proposed a solution, and executed it with excellence, raising the standard for what service can look like in our department. Kaylee Tapley from the treasurer. Kaylee has gone above and beyond in service to the public we serve, with particular regard to taxpayers who are close to becoming foreclosure eligible. She has made incredible efforts in contacting personal property taxpayers who are delinquent and getting them to start making payments toward their outstanding balances. Rachel Plank from the treasurer. Rachel communicates daily with departments and districts to coordinate payroll, process accounts payable, manage wire transfers, and handle revenue deposits. Managing such a high volume of transactions while maintaining consistent communication across numerous agencies demands exceptional organizational skills, attention to detail, and the ability to multitask effectively. Rachel's embodies all these qualities, making her exceptionally well suited for this challenging and essential role. Rich White from Public Works. Rich shines a bright light in our workplace. He has the ability to bring joy and humor in all situations, in good times and the stressful times. He brings camaraderie and friendships to our team, which is an important quality to have in leadership position. Brittany Caspier from the Treasury. Brittany is an incredible quick learner and great problem solver. She's done an excellent job of learning and the underlying reason for the work that we do, and because she has developed such a solid understanding of the basis of our work, she is able to identify and unravel nearly any complicated situation that she is presented with. Jade Cassio from Drug Court. Jade is constant with consideration for how busy a Tuesday afternoon can be when we have drug court docket. She is always present and willing to assist staff in anything we need for court. She never hesitates to offer her help when asked, but the best part is we never have to ask. Denise Van Riper from Information Technology. Denise's unwavering dedication, exceptional work ethic, and consistent ability to adapt and grow in her position make her an invaluable asset to our team. There have been several instances where a process in payroll has malfunctioned, necessitating attention while Denise was on vacation. As the only county employee dedicated to PeopleSoft support, she connected remotely to solve the problem. Her sacrifices ensure payroll could be completed on time.
Okay, before we announce the three that we had to pick, I'd just give everybody here another round of applause for even being recognized.
All right, the first winner is Kaylee Tapley. The next one is Candace Chapin. And the last one is Richard White.
Thank you for participating with us. This is always an enjoyable experience for us. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you for all that you do. Let me adjourn the meeting then. Okay, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.